Hey there, welcome to the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. With every episode, we're embracing our multi-layered lives with faith, know-how, and grit. I'm your host, Dr. Jasmine, and I'm ready to go global with you. Let's get started. Welcome to the Girl Go Global community and podcast where faith and works are empowered. I'm your host, Dr. Jasmine, and I'm so excited that you decided to join me today. Today's episode is sponsored by JLM Global Consulting, a communications firm specializing in unpacking visionary ideas, assessing challenges, and providing the framework and training for persuasive, purposeful, and powerful written and verbal communications. So if you're an author, industry leader, or public figure, and or business owner who is looking to let your communications go global, reach out to JLM Global Consulting. You won't be disappointed. So today, Global Girls, my guest is Miss Cynthia Crawford. She's a literary agent for Embolden Media Group. She holds a Master of Divinity from Luther Rice University and is passionate about studying and teaching God's Word, especially when women and youth are involved. So it's so fitting that she serves as the Director of Discipleship at a church. Cynthia is from Upstate New York, but she was raised with Southern charm. She currently lives in Atlanta. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining me. Would you tell the Global Girls more about yourself?
Hey, Jasmine. First of all, thank you for having me. And yes, I am Cynthia Crawford. I am a literary agent with Embolden Media Group, where we look to publish, consult, help people get their books out there. I love all things books, words. I just love it. I love the whole publishing thing.
Oh, so thank you so much for joining me. I join you in your sentiments about books, words, and phrases. I just love looking in my thesaurus for new and creative things and ways to say things. So we are kindred spirits in that regard. So thank you for joining me. And I want to get all into this conversation about this whole literary agent world. I know for sure there are lots and lots of people publishing. They are choosing traditional publishing, or they're choosing the self-publishing route. But I want to know more about the literary agent world, because I know my community and people that are in my circles, are looking to publish traditionally. And I believe folks like you, agents, can support that effort. So if you will, tell me how you got into the literary agent world and just give us a definition and understanding of what it is that you do.
I will say that becoming a literary agent was not something that I planned. It was something that God purposed me into. So I had a period of time where I was unemployed. I had gotten fired from a job. I was devastated. 3 years searching for full-time employment, and I just could not find full-time employment. I was just taking little gigs here and there. So finally, I ended up going to a conference for women who wanted to be speakers, teachers, write, publish. And I ended up getting connected with a woman named Kia Stevens, who ended up starting this group called Entrusted Women, which is for Christian women who are communicators who are of color. And so she created that so that there can be opportunities for women of color to publish, to speak, to write, and all that good stuff. So I joined that group, and someone posted a job in there for an editor position at a Christian media company. And she said, you know what, Cynthia, you need to apply for that job. I was like, I've never been an editor. Why would I, apply for that job? But every door that I turned to would close and would not open up. And so I'm like, okay, God, what is it that you want me to do? So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and just apply for this job. What do I have to lose? 24 hours later, HR was calling me back saying, hey, can we interview? And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. I have no experience, but this door is open, so let me walk in it. So I ended up becoming assistant editor for smallgroups.com for Christianity Today. And so I ended up moving to the Chicagoland area, and there you have a lot of Christian publishers. You've got Tyndale, You've got University Press.
Okay.
There's publishers all around you, publishers all in your circle. And it was getting to the point about 3 or 4 years into working there where people would start to ask me, hey, Cynthia, what do you know about publishing? Hey, Cynthia, do you know any editors I can pitch my book to? And I mean, it was like month after month, people were coming to me. And so I started thinking, is there something to this? And it just so happened that I had connected with Javon Bolden of Embolden Media Group.
Okay.
And so one of our mutual friends said, hey, Cynthia, you need to talk to Javon. Javon, you need to talk to Cynthia. And Javon ended up bringing me on as a literary agent. So that is how I never planned it, but God knew which direction I was supposed to be going in, and I love it.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. So how long have you been with Embolden?
So July will actually make 1 year with Embolden.
Okay. Wow. So can you tell us what specifically an agent does, a literary agent? What can they do for authors?
So what people don't realize is that most publishers will not accept unsolicited manuscripts or book ideas.
Okay.
They require you to get a literary agent, and that literary agent acts as an intermediary between the author, the potential author, and the publisher. So as a literary agent, I accept queries from people on their book ideas. And I'm able to go through these book ideas and say, do I think that this book would be a good book to be published now? Is it a good topic? Is it a relevant topic for today? Would this book have good book sales? And so from there, I'm able to take on a potential author as a client, help them get their book proposal prepared and ready to pitch to an author. Then I will go take that book proposal, present it to a publisher, and then communicate back and forth until that author gets a deal.
Gotcha.
So if you were to pitch pretty much any publisher on your own, they're going to say, hey, I need you to go back and find a literary agent.
Okay. Does that have a fee associated with it? Or once, someone gets a deal, is that how the money is distributed between the author and the agent?
So it's just like any sports agent, real estate agent. I don't get paid until you get paid. So once I present your proposal to a publisher and they come back to me with a book deal and you accept a book deal, they're going to present an advance to you, give you a certain dollar amount, say this is how much we're willing to advance you as you prepare your book. And so I get paid a percentage off of that advance.
I see. So how do you, want authors to approach you? Are there certain topics, or does your organization, each of the agents in the organization have a different topic that they focus on when they talk about, when I say topic, I mean genre of literature, whether it's self-help, Christian, romance. I mean, I'm just trying to learn more about what Embolden does because, the Global Girls may want to reach out or connect with an agent. So we want to know what genre of books that you all accept and what that process looks like, how they should approach you.
Yes. So Embolden, when you're looking for a literary agent, it is important to look at what type of authors that literary agent has gotten publishing deals for, because that's going to determine whether that literary agent is a good fit for you. Embolden, what you'll see from us, we are a Christian organization in a sense of everyone on our team is a Christian. So a lot of what we look for, or a lot of proposals that we get, do fall into that Christian genre. However, it's not the only genre that we publish. So I myself, as a literary agent, I lean toward topics and genres that most fit what I like to read. Mm-hmm. So I look for Christian living. I look for books on leadership. Right now, I'm pitching a beautiful children's book. And it's just a matter of looking for a literary agent that fits with your type of book. I have a teammate. She also does a lot of work on maternal health and all that. So she may be looking for more books on on the health side, or she also does Christian living. So in Embolden Media, a lot of what we look for are Christian living. We do some memoir. Yes. But if you want to know exactly what we look for, you can go to emboldenmediagroup.com and you can see what types of authors we represent and what types of books these authors have published.
Okay. So if an author has a book already, they've gone through the self-publishing route, and they say, hey, because they can still pitch an agent to see if they can go the traditional publishing route. Is that something that you all have helped authors do? Because I know a lot of people have gone through self-publishing, work on their own. How does that process work for your organization?
So yes, it is possible after self-publishing to publish traditionally. It would have to be a different book. So what the publishers are going to look for are what did your sales look like for that self-published book? What did your platform look like? Who did you reach with that book? Because when they see that you had some success with that self-published book, that's going to spark a little interest and say, if they were able to drum up this much interest with this self-published book, we just may be willing to take a chance on them and offer them a traditional publishing deal.
Gotcha. I gotcha. So that's so interesting. It seems that you've been able to merge your faith with your purpose. We believe at the Girl Go Global community and podcast that faith is one of the keys to living a purpose-filled life. Oh my goodness. So tell me, and I think I might already know the answer to this question, but how has your faith allowed you to step right into purpose?
Well, faith is my foundation for everything that I do. I believe that God created each and every human being with and for a purpose. And so when we tap into that purpose, I feel like that's when we're most fulfilled and feel like we're truly living. And so when we understand that God created each and every one of us for a unique assignment, and then realize that our assignment is tied to other people and that our obedience impacts other people, then it makes you more intentional about how you spend your time on the earth.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm definitely so intentional about how I'm spending my time. Hence, this activity, this podcast for me is really about pointing people back to Christ, about giving them resources, tips, and strategies to reach the calling that they feel from within. And if I can do my small piece over here in my corner of the world, I'm going to help girls go global, which means they're embracing the multi-layers of their lives with faith, know-how, and grit. And I'm here, and I'm glad you're sharing a little bit of that know-how, a little bit of those strategies to help women who feel like they have a book within them in order to reach the world, in order to reach their purpose, in order to connect with those people that they feel that they can impact in their circles or beyond. Oh my. So thank you so much for joining me. Now, tell me a little bit about if someone wants to step into your industry, they want to be an agent, they want to get into the communications realm, how should they do that? Do you have any suggestions?
Yes. Publishing is all about networking.
Okay.
It's all about showing up. It's about looking for conferences, for writer conferences, for publishing conferences. It's about getting on social media, joining Facebook groups, Googling, see if there's any writing groups in your area, joining those writing groups, meeting people, telling people what genre you write in, sharing your work on social media. It's all about networking, getting to know people, because and this word can be a little off-putting, but it's all about platform. And putting yourself out there so that people can see your work and respond to your work. So publishing, anyone who wants to get into publishing, become a literary agent, you have to put yourself out there and let people know your intentions.
That's good. It takes a little bit of courage, persistence, and due diligence. Things don't happen overnight. So that is key. So when you think about this whole publishing, right, you talked about putting yourself out there. So many people think that to traditionally publish, they have to have this huge platform. They have to be forward facing. Is that the case? it's going to take courage for people to do that, because sometimes people are a little shy or just don't know how. When you say putting yourself out there, and when it relates to, becoming traditionally published, do you need a huge platform?
A huge platform helps, but it does not guarantee a book deal. So It's good to have a platform out there. It's good to have a good following. If anything, they're also looking to see if you have an email list. So do you have a blog? Do you have a website where you offer materials where you can send out a newsletter weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, where you're building up this email list? So it's not just a big social media platform. How are you engaging people? Are you a speaker and you have a pretty good lineup of speaking engagements? They're also looking at that. Like, there are some people with pretty large platforms, maybe even pretty well known, that they say, no, you know what, we don't feel that at this time we will be a good literary agent for you, because we don't know that you have a book proposal that will lead to a sellable book. However, there are some people with smaller platforms that are working to build up and engage people, but they have a great book proposal and they have a great strategy of how they're going to help market that book. And you know what? We will take them on, and we have gotten book deals for them.
Wow. So I hear you say this idea about marketing and what the author brings to the table, basically. Do the publishing companies help with marketing, or is it all on the author to kind of do their own marketing?
So it really depends on which publisher, the size of the publisher. The bigger the publisher, the bigger your marketing budget will be. However, what people don't realize, the publisher is going to expect you to do about 60%, if not more, of that marketing, which is why they want you to have that platform, that social media reach, that email distribution list, because when it comes time to sell your book, that's on you.
Yeah. So that's why sometimes people choose the self-publishing route, I feel, because they still have to put in that same amount of work. Now, I have known and heard of people going from the self-publishing route to kind of redoing their book in some way, changing it so much that they can republish it under the same title, if you will. But I'm sure that took a lot of hard work to do that. That's so interesting. This has been such a good conversation. What else would you share with authors who are seeking to learn more about the traditional published route?
Like I said before, get out there, find some groups to join. If you are a Christian woman of color, look on Facebook for Entrusted Women, a Facebook group that's a good place to start, where many women who have wanted to publish have joined this group, networked, made connections, and been able to find a literary agent or speaking engagement. So Google is your friend. Google writing groups, Google literary agencies, look up all the literary agents, find one of your favorite authors, look on the spine of the book, who's their publisher, Google them. Sometimes you can even Google and see who their literary agent is. So it's all about research and taking the time to figure out where you can get connected to learn more about publishing, learn more about writing, all that.
That's so interesting. One day I may pitch my book to some agent to see what I can, if I'll get picked up by a publisher, traditional published house. But for now, I've done the self-publishing route. And we'll see, as I continue to build my platform and open up my networks, there may be opportunity for me even to kind of think about that, to see what that looks like for me. But till then, I'm thank you for this information. This has been so good. Now, before we hop off, I just got a couple more questions. I've been talking to Miss Cynthia Crawford. She is a literary agent, y'all. So this information is so invaluable, because even if you don't use an agent, and even if you don't for example, go the traditionally published route. Information is king. Like, literally, this information is invaluable, and you don't have to Google. You can just like and subscribe for this podcast for more information like that. Okay, so I want to know from you, what's one word of encouragement? You said early on, especially in your bio, that you enjoy supporting women, right? So what's one word of encouragement you would give a woman who is pursuing her passion and purpose with persistence?
Yes. So the word that I would give is remain.
That's good. What do you mean by that?
Sometimes we give up too quickly because the path we're on, it just doesn't look like it's panning out to anything, or, it doesn't look like we're getting anywhere. So stay the course, don't give up. Even if you can't see the end, just stay the course. We miss out on so much because we abandon the mission, because we don't feel like we're making progress, or, we've messed up, or it's uncomfortable, or it doesn't look the way we expected. Those 3 years when I was out of full-time work, I was like, God, do you even like me? Like, what's the problem? Why so many closed doors? But God was preparing me. He was shifting me. He was teaching me some things. He was teaching me about ego. Like, don't wrap your ego around your job, your paycheck. He was like, just remain, just be patient, just trust me. And I learned so much about patience, about persistence, about just waiting. Sometimes God just wants you to stop and just sit and have some time to sit with yourself and learn a little bit about yourself and just trust him. Plain and simple, just remain, just trust him.
I love that. And that makes me think of the scripture, be still and know that I'm God.
Yeah.
That's so good. That touched me today. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what does it mean for girls to go global? When I say girl, go global, what does that mean to you?
It means to dream and to dream big. And we touched on it before. Each of us is tied to each other in some way. Each of us has a unique purpose that God gave us. And we're all part of this big puzzle. And the puzzle is not complete unless we all are in our correct place. So dream big. You hear about that big, hairy, audacious dream, that big, hairy, audacious goal. Like, go for it. And don't be ashamed about your dream, even your quirks and your flaws and your weaknesses. It's all part of who God created you to be. And those don't disqualify you from what God created you to do. So you have a dream. Everyone has one. It may not have risen to the surface just yet, but everybody has a dream. So figure out what that dream is. Just go for it.
That's good. Go for it and remain. How about that?
Even when it doesn't seem good, remain. Yes.
Lord, don't we all know? So if people want to connect with you, how can they do that? They say, I'm going to try this literary agent thing, and I'm going to pitch Miss Cynthia. How can they connect with you?
So you can connect with me at cynthia.crawford at emboldenmediagroup.com. You can reach me there. You can check out the Embolden Media Group website. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. So you can find me there. You can also find me on Instagram at, actually, girl, I forgot my it's CYNT_Crawford for Twitter and Instagram.
Okay. Thank you so much. So this has been the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. We are around here living that courageous life that God created us to live. So if you're ready to step into your power, fulfill your purpose, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Don't keep it all to yourself. Girl, go global.